Welcome back to Racing Across America. Happy to be joined now by trainer David Cannizo. Good morning, David.
Nice to see you.
Happy to have you on board. Join us here. I know it's always busy up at Saratoga, so we appreciate when folks can take a little time out. But we want to talk this afternoon because you have one in the shine again, and some other horses maybe we'll get some insights on as well. But I'm always interested to hear backgrounds of trainers. I think it's a great time up at Saratoga to introduce people to some of the names they see, but they're not as familiar maybe with the faces. Give us a little background. I was reading a little bio information about you. Your brother Jeff, of course, with the New York Thoroughbred Breeders. How did the Cannizo brothers get into the racing game?
We grew up in the business, truthfully. Our father was a trainer in Finger Lakes, so grew up on the backside of a track, actually. Wanting to do it. Went to school for 6 years. You come back to what you love. So I decided I wanted to get away from Finger Lakes, get around a better place. So I came to New York probably 17 years ago. Went to work for Dale Romans for 2 years, worked for Scott Lake for about 5, and then Bruce Levine for 3.5, and then I went on my own.
And so far so good. Certainly, you're based in New York. New York all year long?
All year in New York, besides coming up here once in a while. 2 years ago, we sent a string to Palm Meadows for the winter with some of the grass horses. Did okay there, but it's expensive. You're not running for as much purse, so we decided to leave everything in New York last year, and we'll go from there. We'll probably venture somewhere with some turf this winter again, but not sure where yet.
Also, it was funny, I was reading the article and you talked about spending time in school. You said you had 3 degrees, and you said it was also interesting, and I can kind of relate. I was up at Syracuse. It was tough to get a racing forum when I was at Syracuse, but you mentioned the lecture halls. The professors might be thinking you were taking notes, but you were watching the races.
When I was at Oswego State, everything was online, your classes, so you'd have a computer in front of you all the time, and I always had You Bet or Twin Spires on, and never really was taking notes.
Also, said you played a little lacrosse.
Yeah, I played lacrosse, high school and college. Was pretty good, but it was interesting.
And now moving on to the racing game, and you and your wife, it sounds like, are highly involved in a day in and day out operation of the stable. Your wife's a vet, correct?
Yes, she's a licensed vet. We've been married now 3 years. She was a Naira State vet when we first met. Quit that job, obviously, to come help me in the barn, and she's a very big asset to the team, I guess. She handles all our financials and in and outs of the barn on a daily basis, so it's we spend a lot of time together, to say the least.
I also was interested to read that your training philosophy, if I can put it that way, you treat all the horses, which is logical. I mean, it sounds logical, but you wonder if it happens in some barns as opposed to others. You treat them all as individuals, and you really personalize the training regimen to each individual horse.
Truthfully, you have to. Every horse is their own person, just like a person is their own person. There's no two are exact same. So if you come in here and it's like assembly line, jog one, jog one, jog one, jog one, gallop a mile and a half, it's not going to work. Each horse has their own personality, what they like, what they don't like to do, and it's just finding that niche for each one that makes them successful.
Give a little credit to your owners and your staff, because I know they're important on the training side of the game.
I have some great clients that have been with me since day one, and we've picked up some new clients, and I've had some clients come with me from jobs that I had in the past that gave me a shot. Once I went on my own, I owe everything to them. They've put me here. I didn't put myself in the spot, they did. My staff, I have a great staff. I have 3 assistants. Joelle Sedano has been with me since Scott Lake. We've been like family. Scott Ackers worked for me for 1.5 years now, and we recently hired a girl named Calamity Compton that's at Monmouth with a small string of cheaper horses we have there. And I mean, we have a great staff from top to bottom, from hot walkers to assistants, and they're here day in and day out with me.
I know that's important, because this is a 365-day-a-year job, so you have to have people you can trust, certainly. Take us through a day. What's a typical day like at Saratoga, which I'm assuming is a little bit different just because it's busier and there's 6 days a week of racing here, but take us through a typical day up at Saratoga.
Our schedule's jam-packed, especially up here. My wife and I had a baby daughter 16 months ago, so that takes all the free time out of it too. So normal day, we're up by 4, at the barn by 4:30, going over horses, checking legs, going through the whole barn, see who ate, who didn't eat. If we have to make changes to the set list, we'll do that too. Start training 5:30. We're the first ones out there. I want to get done. We hit the track when it's quiet, when it's cool, before the heat comes up, and try and get done. Train probably 8 to 9 sets a day. Finish that, vet work, blacksmith, go through that, make entries, go over horses if there's anything that needs to be done. Run home, take a shower, back for the races. Obviously, we're a claimant operation too, so most of our days we're looking at other horses to take. Feed time, run home, take a shower, say goodnight to my daughter that I've seen for about an hour a day, and go to sleep and start over. It's a zoo of a life, but you love it, so that's why you do it.
And I always ask trainers, this has to be extra special to get it done up here because you're playing in front of the big crowd and the audience. They're just also plugged in. It's got to be a lot of fun.
The crowds, the amplitude, it's amped up. You come in the paddock, it's a different air. At Aqueduct, you walk in, it's dead quiet. Belmont's similar, but up here, you just feel the adrenaline pumping through you, so it's good to get it done here.
And you had some nice adrenaline going back to the weekend. We'll pull up the replay here. It's number 5, Black Tide, gets it done on the front end. Jose Lescano took him out to the lead early, took him all the way around at a nice 8-1 price. Was that the game plan, the pace scenario? Let's just bottom out the rest of the field?
That's his MO. I mean, speed's his game. You try and rate him and slow him down, he doesn't finish. The faster you let him go, he just keeps kicking. So the whole game plan with him every time he runs is let him rip. There's no secrets behind his style.
And he looked pretty good, as I say, on the weekend, getting it done here. And so you got that adrenaline rush in the winner's circle early at the meet. That's always good. Let's see if you can maybe get something done this afternoon in the feature race. Let's get a little info on Mamma Mia Maria. We're going to go back and watch a July 3rd race down at Belmont. Mamma Mia Maria will be the number 7 horse in here and gets it done by half a length. This is a tough little field in here, particularly of Karina Mia coming out of some grade 1 efforts. But again, Mamma Mia Maria comes out of the win. What are your thoughts on her this afternoon?
She's a very nice filly. We bought her as a 2-year-old in training, and she's really excelled for us. We didn't pay a ton for her. We bought her for $60,000. She's come along nice. I gave her the winter off. Brought her back. She ran absolutely huge off the layoffs that day. It was a pretty good field. It's a tough spot today. Last year she ran in the same spot. She was second to Wavell Avenue, who come out of a Breeders' Cup win.
Nice,
so,
yeah.
I mean, we just, every time in this spot, we catch a tough field. And once again, with Karina Mia and Chad Brown's other horse, there's 2 solid animals in there. They're both cutting back in distance. We're sort of stretching out. So, we'll see what happens. But she looks to be partially controlling speed, and